Welcome to Movies City Recap. She wanted to change the world with her words, but she never imagined the world would change her first. This is the story of Andy Sachs, a bright, ambitious young woman who stepped into the heart of the fashion empire and walked out someone entirely different. Fresh out of college, Andy Sachs arrives in New York City chasing her dream of becoming a serious journalist. But with no experience and no open doors, she stumbles into an interview at Runway Magazine, the holy temple of fashion. She laughs at the idea at first. Fashion isn't her world. She doesn't even know who Prada is. But when she meets Miranda Priestly, the editor-in-chief, everything changes. Miranda is calm, commanding, and terrifyingly precise. One look from her could freeze time itself.
So deeply, what attracts it impossible? You have no style.
No, which explores the expertise about fashion, but...
And somehow, Andy gets the job.
Yeah.
She thinks it'll be easy. A simple assistant job until she finds something better. But she's about to enter a world where perfection isn't requested, it's demanded. From her very first day, Andy realizes she's out of her depth. The hallways glimmer with beauty, confidence, and designer heels. She's mocked for her clothes, ignored by her peers, and crushed under Miranda's impossible expectations. Her co-workers, especially the sharp and sarcastic Emily, treat her like an intruder. Miranda's every call sends her running. Every glance feels like judgment, but still, she doesn't quit. Because deep down, Andy believes that surviving this job might lead to something greater.
In gowns, and then I think it was different designers. I fished it out of some clearance bin. However, that blue... Tell Mom.
During dinner with her father, Andy's phone rings. It's Miranda, stranded in Florida. A hurricane has grounded every flight, but Miranda still expects to be in New York tonight. Andy panics. She calls every airline, every connection, every private jet. Nothing works.
Someone must be getting out.
Nothing is flying out.
Me home.
Oh my God, she's going to murder me.
When Miranda finally walks back into the office the next morning, perfectly composed, she looks at Andy with her cold, calm eyes and says, "You have disappointed me more than any of my previous assistants. No shouting, no emotion, just quiet devastation." And for the first time, Andy feels what every assistant before her has felt. Failure. Love movies, recaps. Don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot for our channel growth. Defeated, Andy finds comfort in Nigel, the magazine's art director. Wise, witty, and brutally honest. He tells her the truth. "You think this is just fashion? This is art, darling." And Miranda? She's the best there is. Those words change everything. Andy decides to stop fighting Runway and start learning from it. With Nigel's help, she transforms. The awkward intern becomes elegant, confident, unstoppable. Even Miranda starts noticing. But the higher Andy climbs, the further she drifts from her friends, her family, and her boyfriend. Success has a price. Miranda gives Andy her first real test of trust, delivering the book, the mock-up of the next Runway issue, to her home. Emily warns her, "You go in, drop it off, and disappear. You're invisible." But curiosity leads Andy upstairs, where she accidentally walks in on Miranda, not the powerful editor, but a heartbroken woman arguing with her husband. Shaken, Andy flees the house. The next day, Miranda punishes her with an impossible task, getting the unpublished Harry Potter manuscript for her twin daughters. Andy almost quits.
No problem. I'm gonna get steak.
Until Christian Thompson, a charming writer she met earlier, comes through with a copy. Miranda is impressed. For the first time, she sees Andy not as a failure, but as someone worth keeping. When Emily falls ill, Miranda chooses Andy to replace her at a high society charity event.
I need to make sure that you're...
Thought that only the first...
Under chandeliers and champagne, Andy whispers names and facts into Miranda's ear, helping her glide through conversations like a queen. She saves Miranda from embarrassment, meets Jacqueline Follet, Miranda's French rival, and earns new respect. But in the process, she misses her boyfriend's birthday. Another small piece of her old life slips away. Soon after, Miranda drops another bombshell. She's taking Andy to Paris Fashion Week, but that means replacing Emily entirely. Andy hesitates. Emily has dreamed of this trip for years, but Miranda's words are sharp as ever. But if you decline, you're not committed. Not to this job, or any job Andy agrees.
Wait.
And when Emily is hit by a taxi before Andy can even break the news, the guilt becomes unbearable. At her friend Lily's art show, Andy tries to escape her guilt, but when Christian shows up, the lines blur again. A harmless kiss on the cheek turns into something more. Lily sees it and lashes out, accusing Andy of becoming someone she doesn't even recognize. Later, her boyfriend ends things, admitting they're no longer the same people. Andy is alone, but there's no time to fall apart. Paris awaits. Paris is everything Andy dreamed it would be. Bright, breathtaking, and ruthless. She's introduced to Valentino Garavani, called the new Emily, and dressed like a star. But beneath the glitter, she sees cracks. One night, she finds Miranda in her hotel suite. Makeup gone, eyes swollen with tears. For the first time, Miranda isn't powerful. She's human. Her husband is divorcing her. The press will call her heartless. And yet, she worries most about her daughters. It's the one moment Andy realizes Miranda's strength is also her loneliness. The next morning, Nigel shares good news. He's been chosen as creative director for James Holt's new fashion house. His dream finally within reach. But Andy soon hears whispers. Runway's owner plans to replace Miranda with Jacqueline Fawley. Shocked, she confronts Christian, who confirms it. Miranda's old news. Jacqueline is the future Andy races to warn Miranda. Christian grabs her hand, calling her baby. She stops, looks him in the eye, and says, "I'm not your baby." Then she runs into the Paris night. At a grand luncheon honoring James Holt, the stage is set for Miranda's downfall. Everyone expects her to be humiliated, replaced by Jacqueline in front of the entire fashion world. But Miranda Priestly doesn't lose. She conquers. With a poised smile, she announces that Jacqueline will be the new creative director for James Holt's company, effectively removing her rival and saving her own position. The room bursts into applause, but Andy looks at Nigel, devastated. The job meant for him is gone. Miranda saved herself by sacrificing him. Later, as the car rolls through Paris, Miranda calmly explains everything. She knew about the plot all along. She presented the list, a record of every designer, model, and brand that owed their success to her. Without her, Runway would collapse. The board had no choice. She stays. Jacqueline falls. Miranda glances at Andy and says softly, "You remind me of myself." Andy's voice shakes. "I could never do what you did to Nigel." Miranda replies, almost tenderly, "You already did." To Emily, the words sink in like ice. Miranda adds, "That's what it takes to live the life I live." And for Andy, that's the final straw. As the car stops in front of another glamorous event, Andy opens the door. She takes one last look at Miranda, then simply walks away. The city lights shimmer. Her phone rings. It's Miranda. Without a word, Andy throws the phone into the fountain and walks off into the Paris night, free at last. Back in New York, Andy meets her ex-boyfriend for breakfast. He's moving to Boston, and though their paths have changed, there's still warmth between them.
We might be able to figure something out.
Later, Andy walks into an interview at a newspaper. The editor smiles and says, "Miranda told me you were her biggest disappointment, but I'd be an idiot not to hire you." Andy laughs. It's the most Miranda compliment possible. Outside, Andy calls Emily. She offers to send her all her Paris clothes. Emily pretends to protest, but she's thrilled. It's forgiveness in its simplest form.
You have some...
As Andy walks past Runway's building, she spots Miranda stepping into her car. Their eyes meet for a brief, silent moment. Andy smiles, calm, content, finally herself. Miranda looks back without expression. And then, just before the door closes, a faint smile flickers.
Go.
She says to her driver. And with that, both women move forward. At different worlds, same strength. In the end, The Devil Wears Prada isn't really about fashion. It's about choices, power, and the price we pay to become who we are. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away.